hand. If you have been following me for a while, you may or may not have seen my TikTok video or about what I want hate animals to know and how they should be treating their disabled clients when it comes to Medicaid waiver. Those TikTok videos really took off and people really enjoyed me making them. So today I wanted to make a hate animal boot camp video all about the tips and tricks I learned when it comes to dealing with your hate animal and what I wish the hate animal knew when it came to dealing with disabled people and disability advocates as a whole. So before I start this video, I wanted to say I think it's really important to realize that I am very grateful for all the Medicaid waiver that I do have and the support team that I do have and the effort that they put into making sure that my services remain intact. However, I think there is a personal responsibility level that is really important that you as a safe animal realize when you're dealing with a disability or a disabled individual. So this is what that video is about. It's not about harming people or calling people out or being mad about the services we have. We need the home and community-based services. This video is more about education and how you can provide the best services possible. However, I think that it's really important for hate animals to know when it comes to providing services to disabled people is to remember that we have a right outside of our disability. So yeah, we have a disability. Like I have cerebral palsy. I'm in a walker. I use a wheelchair. I need daily support to help me move, help me take a shower, make meals, get dressed in the morning, run errands. But I need all that. But we also are disabled people who have rights. So when you are handling or must be assessment or yearly plan review, it is important that, yes, I know you have a lot of clients, but it's important that you tell us in advance that, hey, your service monitoring is coming up. What day and time would work best for me to come and do the evaluation? Why do I hate it? Well, I hate it because I have experienced on multiple occasions where a hate animal needs to come to my house and make sure I'm not being abused or taken advantage of my services, which I completely understand, but sometimes my hate animal tell me that a day before it is due or tell me that I am wrong when I know I'm right and service monitoring is due. When you wait till the very last minute to provide service monitoring, you're not only inconveniencing your health as a safe animal by potentially not meeting your deadline, but you are also inconveniencing your client because they may have therapy, occupational therapy, therapy, work, school, all that kind of stuff. And while we don't necessarily act like we have a busy handler when you what I do is important that you realize because we don't tell you what our handle is every day, every moment of every day. It is important that you realize that we do have a handler appointment, whether that's therapy, doctor appointment, work, school, community activity. So make sure you are planning in advance because we oftentimes have to plan out our appointment in advance and make sure that the right people are here at the right time because our life does revolve around so many different people and so many different aspects. So making sure that you make proper notice, hey, your service monitoring due, or hey, your yearly plan due. Making sure, being like, hey, like, it's due at the beginning of next month. Would you like to handle that now so that you can ensure that your client will be around at the time of service monitoring or at the time of planning or whatever you need to do? Make sure that you tell us before it is due. Don't tell us a week before it's due. I recommend that you tell us a month in advance. That way we can plan accordingly with our support staff or with our therapist or with our doctor or with our daily handler. Along those lines of planning in advance, it is also important that when you go up to a higher home, it is important that you are on time. Now I understand that sometimes we all have different disabilities and different levels of support needs, but you also have to realize that when we make the appointment with you, we block off that certain number of minutes that you need. So whether that's 30 minutes or an hour, we block off that certain amount of time to make sure that our service monitoring meeting is top of mind. Additionally, because we need our support staff to be present for every service monitoring meeting or every yearly planning meeting, you may have to understand that some of us have like 11 other support staff that are with us, and so if you miss the time that if you are late or early or don't show up at all, you may not get the opportunity to have that meeting that you handled, in turn putting your highest services at risk, or because that person planned for a support staff to be there at a certain time and you are late. So being on time is really important, and like I said, I admit it, if you are a minute late or something hung up, then communication is going to be your best friend. If you know you're going to be late or know that you need to reschedule or know that you're going to be early, maybe emailing or calling your client is really, really important. The next thing that I think is really important to realize as a case manager is that you are a tiny part of a person's life. But at the same time, you are the holder of all information when it comes to how they live their life. And why do I bring this up? well, I blend it up because while I understand that the support plan that we develop on a yearly basis needs to be very detailed into what disability we have, what daily need do we need, how many support hours do we need in a day, and all types of medical. I also think it is important that while you have that information, it is also really important to realize that we are humans outside of our disability. So when you are developing a individual support plan for your client, please note that when we say we don't want to tell you how much money we make as an employee at a certain company, or I don't want to tell you when my next doctor appointment is. Please note that while you have a lot of information about our disability and how to best support us, it is also important to realize that allowing your client to have some type of personal boundary is always a good thing. And so when you are writing a plan, when you are writing a support plan, if you need a type of information like a doctor's name or number, or a type of mobility device name, please tell us why you need it and how the information will be used. Then we can make the informed decision. Do you really need to know the information? Will it benefit my support team from having the information in a public document? Or is that something I would rather keep private? And if you say I would rather keep that private, if it's not something you have learned about in the Department of Mental Health employment training that you take at a minimum, maybe have a little bit more human decency and don't put for that information. Obviously, if you absolutely need it, we will give it to you, but at the end of the day, we are not a public display of artwork at an art museum or at some massive hate institute. We are humans with personal life and personal belief. Along the same line, providing information to your hate minimum, I am a strong believer that this is a two-way street. While you help us with the services we need, and while you help us with the services we need and maintain Medicaid eligibility, it is also important to realize the information that we provide you in our government document or in our independent individual support plan, that is still information that we provided you, not information that you got off the internet or Wikipedia. It came out of our mouth. So let's say I'm having trouble accessing a daily service my personal or DSP. Let's say one day I have trouble accessing that service because you forgot to update my yearly file. If I come to you and I say, hey, I noticed that my report isn't able to log into provide report because it has my file isn't updated. If I email you and say, hey, literally my report can't log in to their report portal to get paid to provide my every waking daily need. If I email you and tell you that, and then I ask you where in the process it is, I admit that you might have privacy and HIPAA and all the procedures that you have to worry about, and I completely appreciate that you might protect my privacy, but at the end of the day, when I ask you where my document is in the updated process, and when it past the date of it being due, so that my services don't be delayed, I would appreciate if you wouldn't be like, oh, it's in the world, we're meant to it when we meant to it. That doesn't help us as disabled people, because at the end of the day, if I didn't have my support staff, I would be dead. And I don't mean that lightly. I would literally be dead. So when we ask you where or IFP is in the process, it is very important that A, you validate the concern, B, if you don't know the answer to a question related to where or IFP is in the update process, the best thing you can do is validate our concern and then estimate it to a supervisor rather than waiting and seeing where it goes, because as time moves on, sometimes your services will be permanently delayed if you don't have it in by a certain date. So providing that information to us about where our services are and when we can have them to be updated, and then owning up to your mistake if you commit to update a file or if the file is going to be delayed. That is all really helpful information because at the end of the day, this is not information that you got on the internet. This is information that we are entitled to. And among those things, I know that you have a lot of people with varying disabilities and varying advocacy levels and higher in the way we advocate for our needs, and I completely admit it. But when you have somebody who is like me, who wants to know where her services are, who they'll buy, what time they'll be living, who will be here when will my Medicaid waiver be updated, when is my service monitoring due. When we ask you all that information, please don't treat us like it is some kind of comedian show, because it is our life and we are advocating, and I don't want to be patronized for advocating for what we need, because in today's day and age, at the end of the day, if we don't advocate for what we need, we may never get what we need, because today system isn't built to know what we need, and you're not a robot that is able to read or hearing and understand understand what we are saying. We don't have telepathic robot. So if we're not telling you what we need, then you will probably never know what we need. Therefore, we have to advocate. So please, when we advocate, don't be like, yay, midnight, you are advocating, or your advocacy is much appreciated. Now, that is completely okay to say if you are planning to do something, but if you are saying, yay, you are advocacy is much appreciated for us to hug up and stop emailing you, but what? Moody human, the famous advocate never hung up him in the high of who are on the ADA path, did they? So here is all. We are not going to hug up and stop advocating, so stop patronizing us, stop treating us my baby. Stop treating us like we're baby. We are adults with disabilities who are trying to figure out what they need to be a normal citizen in today's society. So if you are a minimum watching this video, I hope this video helped. If it did, make sure you like this video. Comment down below if you are a minimum and how you treat your higher or if this video will help her, and subscribe if you're new here and haven't done so already. And I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!